You ready?
Yeah.
You ready to go, son? Where we going? We going to the Oakland Raiders? You ready?
So the son, Otto, did not get the dad's gift of gab, clearly.
No, that's a cute kid, and we've seen some videos of him playing football.
He's good.
And absolutely.
He's good.
No, he's a cute kid.
Yeah.
AB could take maybe some PR lessons from the young Otto.
Like,
just flash that big smile. Don't say quite as much. People will say nice things about you.
Less is more.
Yeah, he's not as cute as the kid, though.
No. Well, obviously, he's not as cute as the kid. Got a good smile, though.
Good stuff there. All right, time for stories to start your morning, sponsored by Gillette Clear Gel. Now that former Steeler Antonio Brown is settled, attention turns to former Steeler Le'Veon Bell. Rumors are flying about as free agency approaches. Derek Carr started following Bell on Twitter after the Raiders traded for AB. Nick, you think Bell could sign in Oakland?
I'd say it's a possibility. I wouldn't think it's likely. And even if John Gruden embraces the idea of bringing in Antonio Brown for that rock-bottom compensation, trying to all of a sudden bring in Steelers West without as high level of a quarterback, to me, would be a bad idea. Like, I think these guys are two great players, but I don't know if you want to, after you usher out two of your most high-character guys in a locker room, and Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, in one offseason, bring in the real question mark of AB and a guy in Le'Veon Bell, who I don't know if it's a character question mark, but maybe decision-making in regards to the drug policy question mark. I wouldn't bring them both in.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him playing for the Raiders, but they just have more priorities. They need a rusher. Remember Khalil Mack? Yeah. That big gap that he left in the defense, it's still there. They still need a playmaker, safety. So they still have a number of problems. Offensive line. So running back, potentially a quarterback. It's one of many needs, but I wouldn't have a problem with them playing together. It's just not the best fit.
All right, to the Cowboys now. Veteran linebacker Sean Lee will be back in Dallas for the 2019 season. That after agreeing to terms on a one-year, $3.5 million restructured deal to stay with the Cowboys. The injury-prone Lee will turn 33 this summer. See, was this a good move?
Well, it was a good move for him, for Dallas. I believe that with their two linebackers that they have, both of them Pro Bowl level players, it's nice to have a veteran who can play 1, 2, 3 spots in case there's an injury. But will he be injured? I believe in playing less snaps, it should be able to help him out, and he should be a great special teams player. So for $3 million, it's a good buy.
We knew that Sean Lee was not going to be on the Cowboys at $7 million, which is what his cap hit and salary, his price tag was going to be before the restructure. We thought it was, or at least I thought it was on the board, he would be cut entirely. I think this is probably the best of both worlds. We know Jalen Smith was excellent last year. See if he continues that form. And Leighton Vander Esch was amazing as a rookie. See if he continues that form. And Sean Lee is a leader and as a veteran and someone in that meeting room, that's worth the money.
Him and Jason Witten, one on the offensive end, one on the defensive side to give him more leadership.
To the NBA now. Sixers and Pacers duked it out yesterday. Sixers dominated thanks to Joel Embiid. He returned to action after missing 8 games. He had 32 points, 12 assists. The Sixers move into a tie now with Indiana for the 3rd best record in the East. Nick, how dangerous is Philly when Embiid is playing like this?
Listen, Embiid was excellent. The defense was suffocating in the second half. Indiana scored 30 points. Embiid with the 33 points, 12 rebounds was a great return for him. And C, very important in the standings. The Celtics, Pacers, Sixers, 2 of them are going to be in the 4-5 line.
Yep.
So right now the Sixers got up to the 3 line, tied with the tiebreaker over Indiana. Enormous game for them because they don't want to be playing in that first round 4-5.
Right. There's a number of things that make Philly a tough matchup. They lead the NBA in attendance. They over 20,000. The only NBA team has over 20,000. Also, their ability for Joel Embiid to get you in foul trouble, and they got 4 starters that shoot over 80% from the free throw line. Everyone, of course, Ben Simmons.
Yeah, everyone but Ben.
Moving on
Joel,
to the Lakers now.
Which is huge. Sorry.
More bad news to go with the existing bad news that there has been the regular season. Both Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball were shut down for the remainder of an already disappointing year. Neither will be needed for the playoff run the team will most likely not be making. Nick, what does this mean for the Lakers now moving forward?
All right, so the Ingram thing is a real big problem, and it's a scary injury, and I understand. Listen, it's deep vein thrombosis. It's blood clot, and it's a blood clot in his arm and his shoulder area as opposed to in his leg, which is more typical. They reportedly caught it early. They think they can deal with it. Serena Williams had a blood clot, came back as fine. Chris Bosh had bad blood clots, and it ended his career. But for Ingram, let's just assume that because it was caught early, they can deal with it, right? Because that's the only way he's a key point for this team, either trade-wise or otherwise moving forward. He was playing the best basketball of his life. Since the All-Star game, 6 games, averaging 28 points per game. Averaging. That after throughout the first year and a half of his career.
Never had more than 26.
Only eclipsed 26 points one time. And so I had said last week that one of the few bright spots for the Lakers was, with the season falling apart, the Anthony Davis trade. They had a more attractive package put together because they were going to have a lottery pick, a good lottery pick, and Ingram was looking better and better. And now for Ingram to have a real question mark about, can he be the centerpiece of a trade when he has this injury, when he has this condition, if you will, and can't have 16 games of that level of production. Instead, it could just be an outlier. That's bad news. And for Lonzo, what if the Lakers defense all of a sudden went back to being a top 12 defense when Lonzo came back? You could just say, all right, look, it was a Lonzo effect defensively, which makes him a more attractive trade piece. Instead, they won't see him on the court this year. So this is way worse news than the 5-game losing streak or anything else going on with the team. These 2 young players not playing again this year is a big deal and potentially hugely problematic for them in the trade market.
And if they decide to trade them, they can never say that they know what kind of players they're going to be. If they do put them in a trade, they'll be giving up on them early. You mentioned Ingram playing the best basketball of his career. They also, from the injury standpoint, what if they get lucky? What if they can't move Ingram? They get another free agent to come join LeBron, and then Ingram is able to pick up where he left off next season because of the injury that he can't get traded. Unfortunately for him, it's bad timing. But also, with Lonzo out, with Ingram out, Kuzma's hurt. That's why I sit LeBron. I sit him on out. Like, why waste those minutes? You can't even justify, oh, well, the young guys, they're getting more chemistry, more time on the court. No, you're putting minutes onto a superstar that you're going to need those minutes, right? I would actually be trying to tank right now to try to get the highest probability of winning the lottery so that I might be able to get Zion also.
And when you bring up the lottery, people should understand the better lottery odds, it's not just about Zion. Everyone wants Zion, but it's the better chance of getting the 2nd pick, the 3rd pick, getting a top 6 pick.
But he's the only player that people are mentioning.
No, of course. Yeah. I'm just for the audience because they might see, if the Lakers, to C's point, if they fall 2 more places in the standings, they all of a sudden would have a 25% chance of a top 4 pick. So even if their chance of Zion is a couple percent, like the ability to get, there's Ja Morant, there's Zion, there's R.J. Barrett, there's 3 guys that people consider blue chippers.
And it's more of an asset.
Right, and it is much more attractive in a trade. One of the arguments I had to not shutting down LeBron is you don't know if you're going to be able to trade these guys. You don't know if you're going to trade all of them or any of them. So more court time with him with these young players is relevant. That,
because
of course,
players aren't even
right. That's now out the window. Like that is we didn't know at the time Ingram was going to have any type of serious situation, and it was being reported they thought Lonzo might be back this week. They're now both done for the year. So that argument as to why LeBron should play doesn't qualify because LeBron playing with the Caruso and Jonathan Williams, that Mo Wagner, that's irrelevant.
Quick question about Lonzo Ball. If we have some semblance of an idea of who Ingram was, especially since we've seen him after the All-Star break, is the jury still out on Lonzo Ball? He's missed a big part of this season. He seems to be kind of injury prone. Do we know what kind of player he is, or do you need to see another year or so before you could clump him into?
Oh, at least another year. No, he's got a problem. I mean, is he going to ever develop a jump shot? He can't shoot free throws. So ultimately, like, how high is his ceiling in the NBA? Now, he did become their best defender, but you don't spend a lottery pick, typically a top 5 pick, for a guy to be a defensive specialist. So there's still so many questions as far as his overall game. Yeah, Lonzo, he needed the full year of year 2 and a full year with LeBron at least to have any idea of was he going to live up to that draft stock. I would say right now, the odds are he will never live up to the draft pick, but we don't know what he is. Like, he needs at least another full season under his belt.
All right, let's move on to the Warriors. Not a great weekend for the best team in